What's going on, guys? It's your boy Proof again with another cryptocurrency video. This time we're actually going to be talking a lot about Wise. And we have here the founder of Wise, Peter. Want to introduce yourself, buddy?
What's up, man? Good to be here. My name is Peter. I am the founder of Wise and here to chat.
Here we go. All right, so first thing that I liked about everything you did or everything you said was basically you started just like me. You wanted to invest into staking, and you wanted exactly how you wanted. It wasn't exactly how you wanted because of the scams and all the thing involved into cryptocurrency. But can
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Can you
yeah, I'm an investor. I had my YouTube channel in 2017, and I got into crypto, and I loved it. And really, it was just looking from a community perspective. Where it's like I love Bitcoin. Bitcoin's awesome. I still hold Bitcoin. But looking at what these other staking projects and everything else that was coming out is there just wasn't something that I felt comfortable just sinking my money in and feeling like it was going to be worth more in 5 years. So like I know crypto is going to be here in 5 years. It's just getting more and more and more. So like I was looking in vain for a project that is going to capture that wave of money that's coming into crypto. So after 3 years, I'm like, man, I'm just gonna have to build it myself. Like there's nobody like there's nobody that's willing to do crypto as a nonprofit, at least none that I'm seeing. And that's what I'm looking for in crypto. Like I'm looking for something that they don't just take a big chunk out at the beginning just because they created it. No, like where's the project that's like, hey, we made a great project and we're just going to offer it to the community without taking a massive cut. That's what Bitcoin did,
exactly?
but nobody else is doing it like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like Wise is our best attempt at creating something that is as economically decentralized as Bitcoin, but has all the other awesome features of the new technology that we have now.
Definitely. So, the big questions I wanted to ask, and it's kind of mind blowing because a lot of people don't understand um, the liquidity value that's gonna actually be locked through Uniswap. So, you want to explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So from a design perspective, we're looking at, okay, so we want a cryptocurrency that's efficient like Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously people are going to buy into it, right? So they're going to spend a ton of money to buy into this. There's going to be a ton of money to work with. So the question is, what do we do with that money? And so obviously, most of the other projects are like, oh, we'll pocket that money and then just, put in 5% to the developer team to try to spin something up. But we're trying to do things the right way. So we're like, okay, so what are we going to do with all this money? And so there's a couple of things that people are doing that are okay, that are good, that I noticed. One is the buy and burn technique. So you buy up your tokens on the market, and then you distribute them or you hold them and then reward them as staking later or something like that. A lot of projects are doing that, but I would consider this number three as far as good things to do, because buying up tokens on the market with money will definitely pump the price.
Exactly.
But is that pump going to last a year down the road? No, it's just like that day it's going to pump people up. So if you're in it early, you get lucky and you're going to get rewarded because you're being this pump isn't going to last forever. Once adoption kind of tapers off, like that opportunity isn't going to be there anymore. So it was like it's like an okay thing to do with the money, but it's not sustainable. Like that's not going to be the kind of crypto that's going to be around here in 5 years.
Definitely.
The other thing I see people doing with the money that's a lot more sustainable is using the money to put on like Aave or Compound, Aave lending, Compound, different protocols that will give you interest for locking up money. And so this is a much more solid, sustainable way of making money. And as you can see, the Yearn Finance YFI token went from $35 to $44,000. Obviously, people saw the value.
Exactly.
But it's only a little bit of value, because we're talking like less than 20% ROI per year for the money that you locked up. So it's better than the stock market for sure. So it's a good way to use crypto, but honestly, there's not massive value there. It's more like a retirement account. Like it's going to pay off for you in 20, 30, 40 years, but it's not going to make you 10x in like a short amount of time.
Exactly.
So we're like, so my idea, and I like no one else is doing this like we're doing it, is the most valuable thing that we could do with the money is actually creating an instant market on Uniswap.
Exactly.
And like for a number of different reasons. Number one reason is because it allows people to buy in large amounts and without slippage, and cash out in large amounts without
That's very
slippage
important.
too.
Very important.
So you're talking. So let's say we make the best crypto in the world. Like it just happens to be the most amazing crypto in the world. Well, if you've only got $100,000 on Uniswap, how is the person who's a millionaire going to put his money in that? Like he can't. He can't invest more than $10,000 without having losing a ton of his money from slippage. So so the problem there is that it is not that cryptos. It's not that the money isn't there. It's if you don't have a way to receive the money, if your market isn't big enough to receive the money, your project is going to be like snubbed off at the very beginning because it just can't grow. It just can't grow that big because the liquidity isn't there. So just the fact that we're creating an instant market, which by the way wasn't possible before Uniswap. Like before we had decentralized exchanges, you had to go to an exchange like Binance or something, pay them something ridiculous like $250,000 just to get your coin listed. And then that's just the start. Then you gotta get people so interested in your token that they buy it, and then that they set up orders for buying and selling, and eventually you slowly create a market. So so we got a 300 billion something, maybe 400 billion now market for Bitcoin, which took 12 years to create from the time when the white paper was created till now. Now we can create a multi-billion-dollar market just by placing $1 billion on Uniswap, and boom, instantly you've got this market. So this is a revolutionary thing that happened, and no one's taken advantage of it because all this money coming in, they're like, yeah, we're gonna keep most of that.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of rug pulls, a lot of things going on. So, do you have anything that would stop it from losing percentage and liquidity in Uniswap? Like, do you have anything, for example, anything that would how can I say this? Stop it from really releasing.
Oh, okay. So the money coming in now, we got like $2 million in the contract. So you're saying, is there anything that could possibly happen that would stop that money from going onto Uniswap?
Exactly.
What you're saying? Okay, yeah. So, so in short, no, and I'm going to explain you why. So our liquidity transformer contract, it's a smart contract. There is no admin keys or controls, so nobody can change it. It's already uploaded to the network. Like it's doing what it's gonna do.
So when it goes live, does it get burned? Like so nobody can change it after it goes completely in sync.
Correct. Exactly. So there's two contracts to WISE. One is the liquidity transformer, which we're in right now until December 31st, and the second is the main contract. So the liquidity transformer is already done. It's already uploaded. It's collecting all the money. But on December 31st, there's only one thing that can ever happen, and that is point to the contract that is the main staking contract. So right now our developer, the only thing he's going to be able to change about that LT contract, the only say he has over anything right now is he gets to type in which contract that points to on December 31st which is the rest of our contract, the main staking thing.
Exactly.
Now let's say and the reason we have that, by the way, is because we are releasing our main staking contract on November 11th. It's already been third-party audited. We did hundreds of tests, but we're releasing it so it's open viewable, and then we're doing a bug bounty program. So just in case, we're going to reward people with minimum 1 Ethereum to find bugs, just to be double, triple sure. And then let's say they do find something, then what that means is we just fix the bug. and it's not going to be the original contract anymore. It's going to be the other contract. And then we would point the liquidity transformer contract not to the one where it was going to at first, but to that one.
Exactly.
So the only thing that we have any say over is which contract the liquidity transformer points to, and that's because we want to have a bug bounty program and have the opportunity to be able to change something if there is something found.
So this is why it's so attractive. It's so attractive because you guys are doing it right. You know,
right.
You see all these.
But the thing is, what if? Okay, so what if my developer dies, or he decides that he wants to point it at some other contract, or he just doesn't do anything at all. So in that case, if the money doesn't make it onto Uniswap like it's supposed to, 10 days after December 31st, which is like what, January 9th, there is a refund function so that everybody that put money into the contract will be able to get it back by just calling the contract and getting their money back. So this is 100% decentralization. Your money's safe. We're even extending a bug bounty program just to be triple sure, even though we paid for a really expensive audit from CoinFabric, who's has a clean track record thus far. We want all the confidence in the world to be behind the Wise token, so that's why we're doing it this way.
So I love the transparency. I love the way that it's actually taking time, to actually go through it and look at every little thing.
We talked about slippage, and that's awesome, but that's just like that's just the big picture.
Exactly.
There's a couple other things that big pool of liquidity does, because remember, I don't think I said it yet in this interview, but after the contract puts the money there, keys get burned, so they can never ever be removed. And so by putting the money there on Uniswap and then burning the keys, this actually creates a provable value for the entire project. So because where the contract is selling half the tokens, and then it's taking the money and with the other half of the tokens and putting it on Uniswap. So that means that one, we have a provable value because you can just go to Uniswap and trade your Wise for ETH, and so that means it has a provable value, and we can actually define what that provable value is, because we can calculate, okay, what if 100% of holders of Wise sold it back to Uniswap and got their Ethereum back? What would the price be if 100% of people sold? So whereas other projects, they can go to zero because they don't have a locked market, and like you could lose 90% of your money. You often do. If some pre-sales, you buy in the pre-sale, and once it hits markets, 90% less. So if you started selling on Uniswap immediately, you would get 90% of your money back. However, if everyone sold, the very last person would get 25% of their money back. So if all Wise tokens were sold back to Uniswap, first of all, 50% of the money on Uniswap would be off Uniswap, because that's just the way Uniswap works. And then the price would be 75% below wherever it was listed. So there is a huge, and that's only if you're the very last person to cash out ever. Most of the people are getting, 50, 80, 90% of their money back if they were to cash out. So even in the worst case scenario, we've got an incredible amount of security just because we locked that up. But the cool thing is, Uniswap transaction fees. Every time somebody swaps, ETH for Wise, Wise for ETH, there's a 0.3% transaction fee on Uniswap. So because nobody owns it, that fee just rolls back into the pot, making it bigger and bigger and bigger. So what that actually means is that big pool of liquidity is actually growing over time and lowering slippage as it grows bigger and increasing the price floor, because that just increases the amount of Ethereum and Wise you have on the platform. So over time, like even if 5-10 years, we got so many people using Wise, we don't have exponential adoption anymore. It kind of tapers off. Well, then the transaction fees from everybody just using it on a day-to-day is actually still going to be growing the pool and increasing the value. So it's just, there's incredible implications, and no one else is doing it this way. Like you need to be nonprofit and allow all that money to just create the market instead of taking it for yourself. That's the only way to do it. And so I'm really excited to see, how this all plays out.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to December 31st and seeing exactly how everything's going to play out. That's actually what brought me in was actually the massive liquidity pool um, towards Uniswap, which is it's unprecedented. You know what I mean? So where I was going next, what wanted you to talk to me about a little bit was the inflation. I know it's 4%, I believe,
Yep,
inflation rate a year.
4% per year. Yeah, so 3% gets reward to stakers. The other 1% goes to the referral program. So we our referral program from right now until December 31st. It's just focused on rewarding you with commissions when you refer people to send money to the contract. But that obviously ends December 31st because
Mm-hmm.
after that you just buy on Uniswap. But afterwards, it still works. And when your same group of people and any more that decide to use your link, when they stake, then it's not only earning them interest every day, but it's earning you interest every single day. So the total inflation is 4% per year of our supply. 3%, so 75% gets rewarded to stakers. 1% or 25% of the pot gets rewarded to the referral program.
Perfect. So guys, don't remember that inflation is good if it goes to the right people. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yep. There's no. The cool thing is that we don't take a little bit. Like we don't even take 1%. It's all inflation, which is the profits are going all to the referral program and to stakers. So I'm really excited about that. This is the kind of thing that I wanted. I'm like, what? Why do you have to be taking a cut of this?
yeah.
Like obviously somebody else could just copy your system and make it fair if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm waiting for people to just make the fair version of the system instead of trying to skim off the top. There's no reason to skim off the top, man.
So with the inflation rate, which is 3% to the stakers, 1% referral, um, that's very important just because of the marketing side of it. Um, guys, you guys don't understand the value in marketing. I mean, coin and tokenomics is one thing, and yeah, that's gonna get you somewhere. But if you don't have marketing, you don't have anything. So you want to explain a little bit about the marketing?
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, I think that for a crypto to be able to succeed, it's going to be very hard to do without a referral program because, cryptos can get word of mouth marketing, and without any paid marketing or without any referral program, they can just have word of mouth marketing, get some hype, and explode overnight. But then first of all, their systems are usually terrible, and it's usually hyperinflation. So that falls down, and after a few days or whatever, the chart looks like this. It goes way up, and then it just continues to die. But even the decent ones, like C Vault Finance Core, like it's not good tokenomics, but at least they lock liquidity, which is a really really good thing. So you see it then that they went to 10,000, and they stayed relatively high for a long period of time, but now it's just like losing steam over time because all they had was word of mouth marketing, and that just tapered off in the end. So the most fundamental value creator in crypto or any asset is from people buying it. You have to have more people buying it than you did yesterday or the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have any marketing, and especially if you don't have a referral program, where's that value going to come from? Obviously people are going to see this, and they're going to fly off to the next coolest thing that's going to happen. Like you got to create some type of stickiness and long-term holders. So we create that in two ways. First of all is that our stakes are meant like they're long stakes. You can stake up to 42 years, which by the way I would not recommend. I'm probably not doing anything more than 10-year stakes myself unless it's like $100 or something. But we incentivize long staking, and then we also incentivize referrals through our referral program. So I'm sure we're going to have a big bubble of hype. I'm sure a lot of people are going to come in, but the difference with us is we're going to retain a lot of those people, and we have mechanisms to bring in more people and more people over time instead of having people just get disinterested and go on to the next thing.
Exactly. That was actually one of the questions one of my followers had. She's actually from Andover, Massachusetts. She asked basically, what was the minimum stake and what's the maximum staking?
For days, so the minimum stake is like one YOTA, the smallest part of WISE. But like as far as days,
Mm-hmm.
you can stake for 1 day. You can stake for 15,330 days, which is 365 times 42. If you get the reference there, but so we could have had staking forever, because we found a way to just batch out the transaction. So no matter how long it was, you'd be able to end your stake no problem. So like we solved that problem. But I mean, I think 42 years is long enough, man. so so we have it as low as 1 day and as long as 42 years, and you get to decide what amounts and how much you're going to stake. Personally, I'm going to be making a bunch of smaller stakes and then just ladder staking, so that I have Ys coming due. I'm going to put it at least a year out, but once we are a year in, I'll have Ys come and do like every week, every month.
Yeah, that's perfect. Another question I had from somebody actually down 2 cities over. Um, he wanted to talk about I guess it was 70% gas fee coming back to the first $20,000 spent.
20. Okay, so 70,000. Excuse me, 70% of all gas fees paid will be reimbursed by me, um, for the first 20,000 Ethereum in the contract. So right now we have got about 4,000, almost 4,500 Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like 15,000 more Ethereum to go before that offer is no longer on the table. But first of all, like our gas fees are pretty cheap. Like if you want to just send to 1 day, it's like under $3. Like you can get under $1 if you wait for a good day. And then if you want to send to 50 days, which is like 50 transactions, it can be between like $30 and $80 depending on which day, how high gas fees are at that time. So for 50 transactions, that's super super cheap. And then by the way, after that, like after you make one 50-day transaction,
Mm-hmm.
all transactions after that are much much cheaper. They're like
Yeah.
2 to 5 times cheaper. I saw one come in the other day that was $14 for all 50 days. So they obviously, that was a second transaction after they already sent to all 50 days. So we already have made it as efficient as we possibly can. And then on top of that, we are also paying back 70% of the fees, which we don't get the fees, by the way. The miners get the fees. So this is like coming out of my pocket.
Wow.
And like I don't want the person that even only has $100 to invest. I don't want them to feel like that it's not worth it for them, because Wise was made economically decentralized for someone that only has $100, because I want someone to make $100 to make just as much money as the person who put in $200,000. And most other programs, like it's just not even worth it. Like there's so many whale bonuses and like all this other stuff. Like whales can use our referral program to self-refer, and so that's their bonus. And it's a good bonus, but it's like caps out at 10%. Whereas like you go to other projects, you can get like 2 to 3 times as much tokens, just if you put in a big amount of money. They basically give away the farm, so to speak, just to get big money in their project, and that dilutes everybody else. I think that's absolutely terrible. So whatever fees you end up paying, which are going to be low anyway, for the first 20,000 Ethereum sent to the contract, I'm refunding 70% of that. And so basically the way that works is nobody's getting their Ys until December 30th. Like we have the 50 days of launch, and then there'll be a claim button on our website where you can claim it from the contract. So in that same place, you claim your Ys and also claim your Ethereum back from, if you paid $100 in fees total, then you're going to get $70 in Ethereum back to your wallet along with your Ys.
And this is all out of pocket, guys. He's paying for all these reimbursements. It's all out of pocket. It's incredible. So with the referrals, you actually get a 10%. There's two things you get, right? You get 10% in on referrals and 10% in shares.
Right. It would really hurt if you didn't use a link to invest. Like it can be anybody's link. They all do the same thing. But if you don't use a referral link to invest, and if you don't use a referral link to stake, then it's going to really hurt you, because you're going to miss out on 10% more Ys when you buy from the contract, and you're going to miss out of 10% more shares when you stake, which is your interest generating power. So that's compounded too. So you get 10% more Ys, and of the Ys, of that you get, 10% more shares on that too. So it's more than a 20% advantage we're talking about. So like if you don't use a link, then that's not good. You're missing out on more than 20%. So definitely recommend using somebody's link because if you don't, you're just missing out on 20% for absolutely no reason at all.
Definitely. Guys, I will leave that link below. If you guys want to use it every time, you could go ahead and do that. Um, but Peter, amazing project. I cannot wait till it launches. I mean, it's only a month and some change away. People don't realize how close it is. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I'm getting ready for it. I'm actually gonna go in to all of the days, even in the days that say 0 to 9. It don't even matter. I'm going in every day.
Well, the thing about that is, yeah, a lot of people are kind of scared of the random days, but those actually might be the best days if you average out, because every single day is going to average out to 5 million. Now it's still odd, so we might get unlucky because it's only like 18 days that are random. So we might get unlucky or we might get lucky, but if you go over 18 days, it's going to be pretty close to 5 million average. So if you see that those days are super low, I mean, those might be the best days. Or if everybody has that same idea, they might be the worst days, and it's all just game theory. But
It's a little twist.
but
It's a
yeah,
little
man,
fun.
I'm excited about it.
I'm definitely excited. It gives me the chills, man. Just going through all these little scams and rug pulls, and it just gives me hope that there's actually something out there that's really for the people, and. Um, but anything else you wanted to add toward this?
Yeah, so I think maybe just cover some details. First of all, Wise, we've been working on this for a year now. Had the idea as soon as Uniswap came out, and I was like, oh my goodness, you can create an instant market as long as you have a big pot of money. I was like, man, we got to do this because I always thought that I think I need to make my own because there's not enough good ones out there. But until Uniswap came out, I was like, man, I don't think it's gonna work. Like if I make my own, I'll never be able to create a market for it. But all of a sudden we got Uniswap, and now you can create an instant market. It's like it's here, man. Like I really do believe that Wise is going to be extremely successful because first of all, we have got such an advantage over everybody else that is skimming the cream off the top. We're so much more efficient. There's no possible way you can make more money in another system long term. Like, sure, there's going to be those pump and dumps that do those money games, and if you're lucky and if you get in early, then sure you can make a nice little pump. But if we're talking about the bigger picture here, which is capturing all that money that we talked about in the beginning, the only projects that are going to do that are the sustainable ones that are going to be here, for 3, 5, 10 years down the road. And Wise is positioned to do that. So sure, you can gamble, and if you're lucky, you might get a 10x on some of these, scammy little kind of Ponzi-like money games. Sure, but you can make so much more than that in a legitimate project over time. So yeah, you got to be willing to wait. You're not going to make your 10x overnight. It's got to be over months, possibly over years. But we're in a position where like you can make a lot more than you could with any other project on the market. So I'm very excited about that.
Definitely, people gotta actually care a lot about their share rates. So if you guys start from the beginning and you capture a good share rate, stretch it out. I mean, it's better getting in with that good share rate than getting in at the end of the year like, oh, I should have done this from the beginning. No, you should have just
Absolutely.
got in when it just first started, and then you have this chance now. So if you got this chance now to start something brand new from the beginning, hey, from my experience, everybody who starts in from the beginning, makes it pretty far. So,
Yeah.
share rate is very important, guys. Very, very important.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to go into that a little bit, like
Sure,
what that is?
sure.
So sure. So right now we're in the reservations phase. That just means how much Wise can you buy. There's these cool auctions. You sell them on the market. It's completely fair, and there's also a gamified aspect of it. So if you got strategy and your strategy turns out to be effective, then you might be able to get a lot more Wise than is the average price. So after Uniswap is listed, December 31st, we have staking, and that means that the Wise that you bought, you can lock it up for a period of time, like we said, 1 day to 42 years. And over that time, you're going to be earning interest. Now, what actually happens is that your Wise is burned for the duration of the stake, and so it's traded for shares. And that's a really cool thing that we do, by the way, because it's burned. That means that it's removed from supply, which means that the price will go up when Wise is in demand. So that's a really cool aspect. But also the shares aspect. So shares is something you trade for Wise, and there's a share rate that you get. So on day one, it's going to be one for one. So if you stake 1,000,000 Wise, you get 1,000,000 shares. However, share rate goes up very slowly. Now it can't go down; it can only go up. And the thing that determines what makes it go up is people making interest. So if you make more ROI and you end your stake, then that will cause the share rate to creep up a little bit because you have made money. That's the only thing that can affect it at all. Somebody making money. So when they make money, it creeps up a little bit, and that means that the other person they're staking 1,000,000 Wise, well, they might only get 9,998 shares instead of 1,000,000 shares. So as we go along, share rate goes up, and so staking the same amount of money is going to you're not going to get as many shares when you go to stake. And so that means that a person who staked at the beginning, or doesn't even have to be at the beginning, but before somebody else does, years later, they might have the same amount of money, but they're earning more interest than the person who just recently made a stake. And so this incentivizes people to stake long because it gives them a bigger share of the interest the longer they stake for. So this is really important, and this it's just one of the cool things about our system that creates that stickiness and that environment ecosystem of people that are just really trusting our system and staking, putting their money there for a long time.
Definitely. Let's see here. One thing that I wanted to get into as well, I think we went way past that already. Let's see, you guys. Definitely, I love the non-profitness. Wow. Anything else that you wanted to? Because I basically got everything I wanted to ask you. You actually hit and pinpoint while talking.
Awesome. I'm getting better at these.
Yeah. So anything else you wanted to throw in there? You could. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna make sure I edit pretty good.
Sure. Yeah. So Wise, the vision for Wise is to raise the bar in crypto. So after Wise is launched and we're trading and we have people staking, I want people to compare everything else to Wise and be like, why am I giving these people 20% of my money when I could stake all my money with Wise and they wouldn't take that 20%? Why am I paying these fees and interest in this platform? Ongoing fees when I could be with Wise and 100% of the fees go to the user. So I want to raise the bar so that everyone starts comparing the new projects that come out to Wise, and it becomes impossible for anyone to be successful unless they create their project in a non-profit way that is extremely efficient. Because right now, you don't need to be fair to be successful. There's so much money being thrown into crypto that you don't have to be fair at all. You just have to have a slick website and maybe a good personality, and you can raise millions and millions of dollars of people just throwing money at you because they don't understand what to look for. But that's not for long. That's only going to be there for a short amount of time. Hopefully, with Wise, we can raise awareness and end up raising the bar. So all these scammy, greedy projects just kind of don't have anybody throwing money at them anymore, because it's like, why would I do that? There's admin keys in that contract. Why would I risk it when I could just put my money with Wise and it's extremely efficient? I want to raise awareness about these things and to just kind of be like a shining light, because like we didn't just want to beat the competition. If we wanted to beat the competition, we would have just charged like 15% of all the money, or something like that, or had just like maybe 1% ongoing stuff going to our marketing plan or something like that. But no, we undercut everything. We're like, we're making this completely fair. We're going to do this as a nonprofit, and that way, like, we're not just undercutting the competition, we are like cutting it off at the legs as soon as people understand what's going on, so that no one can even compete with us. So it's not like, oh, we're better, and then somebody else comes with, oh, we're only going to charge 5%, we're going to only charge 2%. No, we just cut it off at the beginning. We're making it a nonprofit. So
Amazing.
that's something I want people to know. I want people to know that we are fairer than everybody else, and the gap is massive. Because you look at any other project, you're going to find something. There's always a catch.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a 30% pre-mine. Oh, there's 20% of the money goes to the developer team. Oh, there's they control the supply. Oh, they control ongoing profits. Oh, there's tax. 5% of the tax goes to the developer team. We don't have any of that. So I want people to know that, because we are like a cut above everything else, and it's a big cut.
It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, it just sets you off, man. Just all this, all this right here, it's amazing. This is exactly what I was looking for in the crypto. Just complete transparency. Look at you. You give your face. You just. It's amazing, bro. And to be an investor as myself, to find something like this and a chance like this.
Yeah, I didn't just give my face, man. You know my first and last name, and that I live in Los Angeles. It would not even take a PI for people to show up at my doorstep, man. Like, yeah. I'm putting it all out there.
Exactly, which is in good faith, and like I said, man, from going through, listen, and if I may throw this in there, I'm not gonna, you know what I'm just gonna say. X2T, man. Woo! Whew. Things like that is just like, I understand what they were saying, but it's like everything now. It's like, oh well, there was a bug here, this bug. So I mean, for me, sometimes like it feels like the new word for scams is bugs.
Well, yeah. Okay, so let's be completely honest about this, because I think it's very important to get this right. Because first of all, I don't believe that the creators of Axion are malintentioned. I think they mean very well, and they've also developed a community which is a great and a very positive community. But that doesn't mean their tokenomics are good, unfortunately. Like, it's very unfortunate, because the community is great. The developers have good intentions. It's just the tokenomics aren't there. Like, you got like the auctions. Unfortunately, it's just a Ponzi scheme. So first of all, 20% of your money goes to the developers, and then 80% of money just buys up tokens on the market to distribute as, whatever they call it, dividends or whatever. That is the definition of a Ponzi. It's new money coming in to give a temporary reward to the people that are already in the system. New money paying old money. It's not something that lasts. As soon as if adoption goes well, it's going great until it doesn't. As soon as adoption tapers off, every single Ponzi collapses. And the thing is, it's not even as fair as you could have. Like, this system, this redistribution system, like you could look it up on Google. SUSU, SOU. So the SUSU system has been around for 1,000 years or more, and like, usually they don't take 20%. It's 100% of the money just gets distributed. So like, there's even fairer systems out there. They're Ponzi's. They only work until adoption tapers off, and then it just crashes. So you don't want to be in there. It's basically playing hot potato. You don't want to be the one holding the bag at the end, because there's no new money. Like, the only money that's being created is the new money coming in. So it's very unfortunate. Like, Axion did a good job, creating a slick looking website. The developers have, great temperaments, and created a great community, a really positive community. But at the end of the day, the tokenomics have got to be there if it's going to last. So, I also kind of ragged on them because they outsource their development to third parties, which I said in my video was a bug. It was a bug. It was a malicious bug by the third-party developer that put that bug in there so that he could exploit it later. So it's good that there wasn't a bug in the actual canon code themselves, but it's just another reason. Like, why would you farm it out like out of the house? Why's developers are in-house? If I didn't have my developers in-house, I don't know how this would have ever happened, because there's like, how can there be that kind of communication that is there when you're all working together and communicating with each other on a day-by-day basis? Like, there's been so many issues that I've been able to catch that I wouldn't have caught if I just like wrote a white paper and like was like, hey, you go build this. So like,
that's one thing that I went through a lot, where something happens and I'm messaging developers, and they're like, well, my other developer's in the Ukraine, he's sleeping right now, and it's exactly what you said right now. Having that in-house team probably made all the difference, and I can't imagine somebody in a different country and you gotta wait for the. Oh man.
Well, we do have people in different countries, and like even my CTO Aaron, like he's in Chicago. But the point is that we're all on the same Slack channel. We all have Zoom call. I have a Zoom call with my developer team every single day. We're constantly communicating and that's the in-house team, rather than like, I really can't see that type of communication happening when you basically outsourced it. Like, they've got their internal communication, but if they come up with like questions and stuff, like my developers, they just like text me or call me up. They're like, I thought of this. Like, do you think this could be an issue? Like, that type of thing. I just don't see that happening when you like just basically hand a white paper to somebody else and you're like, build this. Yeah. Like, I can't imagine that the amount of communication was on par as if you were all part of the same company and talking to each other every single day. So that's all I would say to that.
Definitely. All right. Whew. I'm excited, bro. Is it the 31st already?
Soon, man. It's gonna come faster than you think. Like, there's already Christmas trees in the shops and stores. Like, yeah. It's gonna be here before we know it.
Got a couple strategies, man. I'm gonna just test out these strategies, man. Gotta bring out the sledgehammer.
Absolutely.
All right. I think we covered a lot. Covered a lot. So I think I might take this one and edit this one out and actually go ahead and do what I gotta do with it. But Pete, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And hopefully, man, the next couple 3-4 years, I become a wise whale or something.
Absolutely, bro. That's the plan. And it's like honestly, I can't see it playing out differently if we're able to put like 50 million plus on Uniswap. Like, that's gonna really cause some waves. And it's gonna be the network effect. Like I think that it's very possible. Like technically, if the system is just stable and we have a amount of adoption that just is stable going up from our referral program, like, we're going to eventually do well, and eventually the price is going to pop significantly. But I think there's a high chance that just the fact of we're putting that much money on Uniswap, I think that there's a chance that creates enough buzz to create like a second wave of people buying directly on Uniswap and giving us an initial pretty significant jump on Uniswap, like, even if you're in it for the first month type of thing. I think that's a very possible scenario. And the cool thing about that is, like, who's going to dump it at that point? Like who's going to want to dump it when they see the potential?
You know what? I like that too. You guys started off the auctions for the reservations at 5 million. I think it was my understanding before you guys were thinking of making it like $1 million. I believe.
Yeah, it was 1 million, but then we changed it to 5x more because psychological reasons. Because we realized that there's going to be so much money coming in that the price is going to be far above $1 if we don't increase the supply. So we increased the supply by 5x. We were kind of targeting a like under 10 cents price to start off on Uniswap, but it looks like it might be like 50 cents or more. So we'll see, just because there's so much money coming in. Like, I know there's only 2 million right now, but man, like if you would see all the places that I've got marketing, I really feel like we're gonna put 50 million to 100 million on Uniswap.
Of course. I mean, it just makes it affordable for everybody who can't, you know what I mean, go in with $1,000, $2,000, you know what I mean? So
Right. Yeah.
so I like that part. All right. Well, there you have it.
All right.
There you have it, Peter, guys. Peter from
wrap.
Wise. It's a wrap, baby. All right, Pete. Well, thank you so much. I'm gonna get out of here. I actually got like 3 music videos today. You believe that shit?
Awesome. Good luck on that, man. Hey, link me your music stuff too. I'd like to check it all out.
Yeah, I'll send you something later. I will.
Awesome.
All right, boss.
Well, thank you so much.
Day.
Thanks for the
Thank you
opportunity.
so much.
Talk to you later.
All right, bye.